Hey there, what's going on? I'm Dave Erickson with Everyman Driver. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel and this video of the 2020 Ford Expedition. Today I'm going to go over cargo capacity, what's new for 2020, how I use this vehicle on a regular basis, some of the things I find helpful for families that are growing, how it drives, and some other pros and cons along the way. So without further ado, let's get started. I feel like there's a great level of consistency and familiarity when driving a Ford vehicle, especially when it comes to the Explorer, the F-150, which we actually own a 2017, and this, the Expedition. Now, the Expedition is a vehicle that is extra large. We're talking a full-size SUV, and this one comes in 4 trim levels. You have the XLT, the Limited, and welcome back to the King Ranch, and the Platinum. Now, each of those also come with the option of adding 4-wheel drive. Otherwise, it's rear-wheel drive as standard. Now, we have the Max. Now, what Max is all about is length. This vehicle is almost a foot longer than the standard Expedition. Now, it doesn't change the passenger volume, but it does give you 78% more cargo volume behind the third row, and I'll show you the third row is and break down the numbers there as well. So what's new this year on the 2020, like I said, the King Ranch is back. There's other safety features which are now standard, which were optional previously. The Ford Pass Connect, which has a Wi-Fi hotspot, and Ford Co-Pilot 360 is now standard across all models. That's pretty exciting. That Co-Pilot 360 includes lane keeping assist, blind spot warning with pedestrian detection, automatic emergency braking. So those things now are standard, which is a good thing. Also, all Ford Expeditions come standard with 8 passengers. We do have the option of a captain's chairs option in the middle row, which would allow only 7 passengers, but either way, you're getting plenty of space for adults in each of the rows. That's right, the third row is doable for adults, when normally it's reserved for kids or car seats, but not the case with the Expedition. And with the Max, you get all the extra cargo room, so it's a bonus. Now, as we take a look under the hood of this bad boy, you're looking at 375 horsepower as standard with a turbocharged 3.5 liter V6 mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. No V8 needed because of that turbocharged engine, and you still get up to 9,300 pounds of towing capacity. Now, if you opt for the Platinum trim level, it has an enhanced engine. So looking at what we have, 400 horsepower, 480 pound-feet of torque. This vehicle has plenty of get up and go. Allow me to interrupt this drive and review for a quick request from you. Please click that subscribe button. It only takes a couple of seconds. It helps support my channel, and I really appreciate it. Okay, back to the review. Fuel economy in our tester, 16 city, 21 highway for a mixed driving number of 18. So yeah, it's thirsty, but still, consider all that power. Let's go ahead and break down the cargo volume, which is super impressive in this vehicle. Now, with the Max, again, this is a foot longer than the normal Expedition, 36 cubic feet of cargo volume behind that third row. Normally, you're looking at just about 21, so 15 cubic feet more in the Max. Fold down that third row, you're looking at nearly 80 cubic feet of cargo volume versus 63 in the non-Max. And then fold down all rows, 121.5 cubic feet of volume versus 104 in the non-Max version. That is a lot of space, and when compared to the competition in terms of cargo space, this is leading the group. Talking about rivals like the Tahoe and Suburban from Chevy, Yukon, Yukon XL, the Armada from Nissan, and the Toyota Sequoia. This, by far, in my opinion, is the best. By the way, there are 2 different options on opening and accessing things that might be behind the third row seat. There's a button just below the backup camera that lifts up this, so that way you can reach in without having to open the entire lift gate and access something that might be back there. Or traditional way, press a button there and then have the liftgate open up all the way and access what's in the back. So 2 different ways. And of course, as always, press a button here along the edge, closes the liftgate, you walk away, you're good to go. Now, I mentioned how there's a familiarity with driving the Ford. At times I forget, except for the overall space when I look in the rearview mirror, that I'm driving the Expedition versus maybe our Ford F-150, because everything looks very similar. Right here on the screen, we have an 8-inch touchscreen, so you got that Ford sync system. All the buttons are familiar and similar. We got the turn dial down below, which does take some getting used to if you're not used to driving a Ford with that 10-speed automatic transmission dial. We have a number of drive modes. So you got normal, there's also eco, there's a sport mode, mud and ruts, sand, grass, gravel, and snow. So you've got a lot to work with if you want to take this vehicle off-road. And speaking of off-road, you got 9.7 inches of ground clearance in the 4x4 version, otherwise 9.8 inches of ground clearance. One thing that does stand out that both my wife and I noticed when we were driving even at 45 miles per hour, preparing to go on the highways, we thought maybe a window was open, when it turns out it was just road noise echoing throughout this cavernous cabin. And that would be maybe a downside to having such a big vehicle, is that unless there's some sound dampening technology inside, you're going to hear some road noise. I think over time you probably just get used to it, but we do really appreciate how much space is back here. And these captain chairs with our option here was so easy for our kids to play when we were parked, for them to run around in the car without having to lift your legs up or move around. So my little boy can just go from the seat to the pass-through to the third row and have so much fun playing inside the car. He loves to explore the vehicle. Every time I get a new car, he goes, "Hey, car," jump in the car, and we go play around and explore with it and push the buttons. It's a lot of fun. This also has this massive panoramic sunroof, moonroof, that goes all the way back to the middle row passengers. It goes back in 2 different segments. Press once, it goes back just behind the passenger and driver in the front. Press it again, and that's how you go all the way back behind the passengers in the middle. This also features, which is a great convenience for me, plenty of USB ports and a wireless charging pad for those compatible smartphones. I like that because I can just put my phone down there, don't have to worry about it being out of view. It's being charged as I go. I don't have to worry about cables as well. And I'm sure you'll like this, especially in a big vehicle. You've got some safety features that will help you stay within the lanes. The lane keeping assist system, which I'll demonstrate now. Here's some footage from me driving down the highway. So the vehicle, as you've probably heard before, it recognizes the lane on the left, the lane on the right. And if you happen to start to veer or pass those lines, the car brings you back into the center on both sides. So it's a great safety feature if you just don't happen to be paying attention, your hand is slightly on the wheel, or maybe it's off for some reason. That will keep you centered up on the car. It's also, of course, cruise control and the blind spot warning, so if a car does plan on passing you, you'll see them in the side mirror. Practicality wise, for a family, this is a great option, except for, of course, the price point. You're getting into some high numbers here. Beginning MSRP on the lowest trim level, just over 55 grand. This one right here, fully loaded, $80,000. So yeah, you're gonna have to invest a lot of money into this vehicle. You're getting a lot for it, and with the Platinum, you've got all these leather trim accessories, a lot of standard grade features, all the extra space, the wonderful engine, which is enhanced to over now 400 horsepower and over 400 pound-feet of torque, the towing capacity. It does offer a lot for the money, but it is a lot of money. But then again, you do have a full-size SUV. For those growing families, people who are going out on adventures, weekend warriors, you've got a small basketball, volleyball team, then this is definitely the vehicle that you want to look into. And there's plenty of these safety features as well for car seats, because we have 2 little ones and they both require car seats, whether it's rear-facing or front-facing. This back seat and far seat has those options to lock in. It's really easy to get around and access your kids because of how much space is in here. You're gonna get that. This car is gigantic. Speaking of size, you will have to plan ahead and find the right parking spot. in the grocery store because of how long this vehicle is. Luckily, it has that, great backup camera, so no problem there with seeing where you're going, but it is something to be aware of if you're not comfortable driving a larger vehicle in tight places, tight parking spots. Then maybe you'll have to practice or think about something a little bit smaller, maybe something in a mid-size. And finally, when people ask about driving dynamics or how does it handle, hey, I'm driving a full-size SUV, but because it's so solid and firm on the ground, we got the four-wheel drive, I've had no issues with being floaty. I mean, you would think that this is a giant car, you're gonna have a float feel to it. There's a little bit of that, but not so much where it gets in the way of my experience. And this is gonna be great for those of you who are going on road trips. It's a great road trip vehicle, some long haul drives, and even around town is fine. I mean, it's got plenty of power and get up and go. So either way, once you test drive it, you'll see whether or not it's gonna fit your needs. So would I recommend the Expedition? Absolutely. I find that it's easy to drive. The cargo capacity is phenomenal. The engine has plenty of power for me. There's plenty of technology updates with safety, with connectivity. Storage is plentiful throughout the vehicle, whether it's cup holders or storage in the center armrest or in the side door panels in the back. It's everywhere. So I would definitely support a test drive, and just be aware the price point will be pretty high, but you do have some options with those vehicles I mentioned in terms of rivals. Well, finally, I've included a link below this video to additional Ford reviews and videos I've done in the past, and there will be many more of these to come in the near future. Thanks again so much for watching. I'm Dave Erickson. Have a good one. Drive safe. Adios.
Thanks for watching. Please click subscribe and give us a thumbs up. See you next time.
One more thing before you go, I've added links in the description below to some of the best-selling automotive accessories and products on Amazon right now, plus links to some of the product reviews I've done. You can find it in the description below this video. And if you don't mind, take a couple of seconds and click that subscribe button. I'm uploading 2, 3, sometimes 4 new videos every week, and I don't want you to miss anything, plus it helps support my channel. As always, if you have any constructive criticism, thoughts, or suggestions about my video, please leave it in the comment section below.